Bonnie here. Today we are going to be doing a reformer workout, working on obliques, really cinching at the waist, tightening up right there on the side of the body. I have a box and a sticky mat prepared. I'm going to be doing footwork first. I have 3 to 4 springs on my reformer. My headrest is up. I'm going to come lying down on my back. My feet are in a Pilates V, balls of feet on the foot bar, heels off, squeezing together. My knees are tracking over my big toes. I've turned out my femur in the hip socket. I inhaled, exhaled, located my neutral spine, brought my ribs together, soften my collarbone, flatten my shoulder blades against the mat. I press out on the inhale and exhale back in. And here's 2. Exhale and 3. While we're here, let's go ahead and start checking in, making sure that we're not rocking back and forth on our sacrum in any way. We have equal weight on the triangle of our sacrum, from our tailbone to our 2 hip joints. From there, we're going to travel up the back side of our body. Make sure we have a slight lift or curve in our low back between the sacrum and the 12th rib, so we're not imprinting our entire spine onto the mat. We're maintaining a neutral spine. 2 more. Traveling further up the back, we're going to make sure that all of our ribs are on the mat and our shoulder blades are nice and flat and stable. From there, I'm going to lift my feet up, squeeze them together, place the balls of my feet on the foot bar with the heels pressing under as far as I can under the foot bar. I'm squeezing my toes over the foot bar in a bird on a perch position or prehensile position. I'm going to press out, pushing my heels under the shoulder blocks at the same time, and come back and press. Try to get your heels under at the same time your head goes up. Now that we've checked out the back of our body, let's check in with the front. We have nice, wide, soft collarbones. Make sure that you don't have any tension right there. No tension in your neck. My ribs are coming together. They're not flaring up and out. My my back ribs are drawing down to the mat. I'm drawing my ribs together, and I'm dropping my belly button to my spine. 9. 1 more, and 10. From there, I'm going to float my legs up together by using my abdominals, flex my toes back, place my heels on the foot bar. I'm going to inhale to press out, lengthening out my hip flexors, and exhale back in. Inhale out, and exhale back in. And 3. 4. Really drop that belly on the exhale. 6. Make sure you're drawing your toes back strongly in your knees. Press out with your glutes and hamstrings, and release your hip flexors on the way in. 2 more. From there, we're going to lift my feet up to tabletop, separate them to a wide Pilates V position, bring my heels down to the outside corners or edges of the foot bar. I'm going to squeeze my glutes and hamstrings, make sure I'm consciously rotating my femur in the hip socket instead of just letting my legs flap open with no real support on either side. I should have tension on the inner thighs as well. I'm going to inhale out and exhale back in. Make sure that you didn't imprint your spine when you went to this position, meaning you saw the curve in your low back. 5. And squeeze your glutes and hamstrings. And 7. Shake out your neck. And 9. And 10. I'm going to float my feet up. Bring my feet to a forced arch or demi-point position. Place the ball of my feet on the edges of the foot bar again. I am in a forced arch or high heel position as high as I can reach my heels up. I'm going to press out and float back in, resisting the springs. And inhale. Exhale, resisting the springs to come back in, but feeling myself grow taller as the springs push against me. I'm going to press against the springs, shooting up through the headrest. Energy coming out of my feet and energy coming out of my head at the same time. Still actively rotating my femur in the hip. second. 7, 8, my ribs aren't flared. Belly button drop. 9. One more. And 10. And then I'm going to float my legs up to the center. Squeezing, releasing. I'm going to place the balls of my feet in a forced arch or high heel position in the center of the foot bar. I'm going to inhale to press out. Really stretching out of those hip flexors. And exhale to release the hip flexors and float back in. And inhale. And exhale. And squeeze the back shin of your body. And release. And squeeze and release like a wheel. It goes up the back and you release out the front. 6, 7, 8, 9, on 10, stay up at the top. I'm going to drop my left heel under the foot bar and bend my right knee over the foot bar. I'm going to lift both heels up to a forced arch position, and then I'm going to drop my right heel, bending my left knee, and lift, and drop, and lift. We're going to be doing a different foot on every count, so drop your left, and lift, drop right, and lift, right, left, right. As long as you can maintain a neutral body, and you're not shaking or rocking in your pelvis or sacrum, you can speed it up. One more set. Staying up at the top, squeezing everything together on my legs, ankles, and feet. I'm going to drop my heels under and lift and drop and lift. Equal time down and equal time to lift and lower and lift, lower, lift. Here's 6, 7, 8. Maintain neutral spine. 9. One more. Bend your knees over the foot bar. Come in. From there, I'm going to sit up. I'm going to be changing my springs over for my 100 springs. For me personally, that is a medium and a light spring. We're going to begin with curl-ups in a long, elongated diamond shape with our legs. Come down. Lying down, locate my handles, make sure that my straps are able. I'm going to bring my feet up and out to a diamond position, squeezing my heels strongly, tweezing my seat, engaging my inner thighs through the heel squeeze. I'm going to bend my inhale, exhale by drawing my hands to my hips, curling my head, neck, and shoulders, and inhale back, and exhale to lift, never losing that squeeze on my heels. One more in this arm position. From here, I'm going to locate my lats. I'm going to separate my hands to a V, no wider than the width of my reformer. I'm going to put more pressure into my pinky blade edge. I'm going to draw my pinky blade edge to my hips first. Inhale, exhale to curl up. Inhale to lower, and lift, and lower. One more, hollow out your armpits as you lift, dropping your belly into your spine, and lower. Bring your arms out to a T. Hovering slightly off the carriage. More weight in your pinky blade edge still. Inhale. Exhale to curl up. Inhale to lower. And exhale. And lower. And exhale. And lower. From here, we're going to be doing a cheerleader arm style position. My right arm is to the ceiling. My left arm is out to a T. I'm going to inhale. Exhale to curl up. Bring my left arm to my hip. My right arm through my diamond legs. I'm going to come back up, switching my arm position. So now my left arm is reaching to my ceiling, throw the right arm to a T, and exhale to curl up. And inhale to switch. Exhale, right arm reaches through. Inhale to switch. Exhale, left arm reaches. Inhale to switch. One more, right arm reaches. Inhale to switch, and left arm reaches. Inhale to switch. Arms up to the ceiling. Don't drop your legs. Inhale, prepare. Exhale to curl up. Begin your hundreds. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, curl up a little deeper. Exhale like you're fogging a mirror. Really squeeze your heels strongly. Tweeze your seat. Rotate your femur in the hip socket. Shake out your neck. Reach your fingertips for the foot bar. See if you can elongate your diamond a little bit more, but not lose your neutral spine. And here's 7. And 8. Stretch your legs straight. 9. Drop them for the last 10. Stop there. Reach a little deeper. Bring your knees to tabletop. Float your arms to the ceiling. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. I'm going to peg my straps. Come up to sitting. I'm going to grab my sticky mat. We're going to be doing a stomach massage. 3 to 4 springs. And for stomach massage, I have 3 heavies, 1 medium is what I start with. I'm going to bring my sticky mat back a hand's width away from the edge of my carriage, closest to the foot bar. I'm going to come down to sitting right there, so I have a hand's width from the edge of my carriage. I'm going to float my feet up, place them on Pilates feet in the middle of the foot bar. My balls of my feet are on, my heels are off. I'm squeezing my heels strongly together. My hands are going to come around to the front edge. I'm going to find my Pilates scoop, looking at my belly button. I'm going to press the carriage straight, drop my heels under, lift them back up to a forced arch, and bend my knees in. Exhaling to draw deeper. Inhale and exhale. And inhale. Really contract to bring the carriage back in. Press out on 1. Drop your heels 2. Lift on 3. Plie on, or bend your knees on 4. And press 1, 2, 3, 4. Halfway there for this exercise. 2, 3. Try to sit directly up on your sits bones. Don't crunch your chin to your chest. 3 and 4. From here, I'm going to float my arms up, circle them around the outside of my body, and back. To find my shoulder rest, I'm going to sit straight up, pressing up out of the floor, not collapsing into it, letting my shoulders come up to my ears. I'm going to press out on 1, drop my heels on 2, up on 3, bend my knees back on 4. Same movement pattern as in the first exercise, and down. Don't allow yourself to collapse. Don't sink into your chest. Don't allow your shoulders to round or go up to your ears. 5. Here's 6. After this, we'll go ahead and drop a spring. Here's 7. 1 more. And here is 8. Come back in. Reach for the middle of your foot bar so you don't fall over. Drop a heavy spring. From there, I'm going to reach forward. My biceps are going between my ears. I'm reaching at an angle, a flat back angle, or it will be flat back soon, hopefully. Reaching for where the ball meets the ceiling. I'm going to press out on 1 and just bend my knees back and on 2. And press. See if you can continue reaching further over the foot bar as you press. Here's 4 and 5. Exhale. Really draw your belly button to your spine. Here's 6 and 7 and 8. Come to sitting straight up, palms facing each other. Coming straight out of where your sternum and your 12th are so your shoulders don't creep up your ears. I'm going to press and twist. When I reach the full expression of my twist, I'm going to see if I can wring out my waist a little bit more and come back, floating my knees back in. When I press out, both of my hips are stable. Wring it out a little bit more and come in. I'm not rocking on my hips. The weight distribution on my feet is still equal. It's not changing. And sit straight up. See if you can grow taller as you press out, as if someone has a string to the top of your head and they're pulling you up to the ceiling. As you twist, draw your belly button to your spine. 1 more. And in. From there, I'm going to pull my pants up discreetly. I'm going to place my arches of my feet on the outside of the foot bar. My hands are in the center. I'm going to press out forward and fold over my legs. If this is too much weight for you, feel free to drop a spring. Enjoy the stretch right here. From here, I'm going to carefully take my right hand, place it in the center of the foot bar. I'm going to take my left hand and sweep it out to the back, reaching for my back upright. Feeling a two-way stretch from both arms. I'm going to come back to the center with my left hand, replace my right hand with my left one, remove my right hand. I'm going to reach for my upright with my right hand, back to the back of my machine, following my hand with my eyes if I'm able to. I'm going to come back to the center. I'm going to bend my knees and come up to sitting. From there, I'm going to go ahead, come up to standing. I'm going to change my spring over for one medium and one light. On my machine, that is a red and a blue. I'm also going to drop my foot bar down a lower position just for right now, as well as for later. From there, I'm going to go ahead, place my box on my carriage. I'm also going to drop my headrest. We are going to begin with a series of 5. I'm going to come sitting on my box, the very back edge closest to the headrest, facing my upright to the back of the reformer. I'm going to bring my knees up to a tabletop. And now exhale to articulate down to the box. Scoot up a little bit. If you are uncomfortable with doing that, please feel free to leave your feet on the headrest. We're going to go straight through the series of 5 today. I'm going to extend my left leg, bring my right leg in my chest. My left hand is going to hold on to the inside of my right knee. My right hand is going to reach for the outside of my right ankle. I'm going to, and now exhale, drop my belly button, and switch, and switch. Inhale through the center, exhale to pull. Your sacrum should stay flat. You can pull your leg in as far as you like, as long as your sacrum stays flat and you're not raising your booty off the box. 7, wide shoulders, 8. From there, we're going to bring our knees to tabletop. We're going to begin and stop at tabletop the whole time to maintain neutral spine. I'm going to extend my arms. My biceps are around my ears. My legs are reaching out to working level. Exhale, arms stretching, and then draw everything in. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale, maintaining neutral spine. Exhale. As long as you're not moving your sacrum, you can drop your feet lower. Here's 4. Don't bring your arms back behind your ears, and don't lose your curl up. 6. Here's 7. 1 more. And 8. From there, we're going into scissors. Extend your right leg to the ceiling, your left leg out long. Inhale. Exhale to bring your leg closer to your nose. Bend your elbows wide. Don't lift your body. Inhale. Exhale. Tuck. Inhale. Exhale. Pull. Inhale. Exhale. Pull. Here's 3. And 4. You can grab your leg anywhere you like, as long as you can maintain a flat sacrum. 7. And 8. From there, we're going to place our head in our hands. We're going to press our head into our hands into our head. We're going to bring our legs to the diamond position that we had earlier. I'm going to drop my legs from 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, keeping a flat sacrum. I'm going to exhale and lift. Drop 1, 2, 3, and lift. Drop 1, 2, 3. While you're doing the movement, make sure that you're squeezing your legs together the entire time, your heels together. It's as if you're holding a dime or something very small, whatever, like a bead, between your heels, and you can't let it go. 6. On this one, drop 1, 2, 3, stop. Exhale. Watch your belly button drop, and then use your abs to lift. Drop 1, 2, 3. And lift. Bring your knees to tabletop, elbow to knee. Your right knee stays bent, left leg extends long. Bring your underarm to your knee and switch. Don't drop your curl up at any time. Don't dip it in the middle. Maintain your curl, just rotate from side to side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Your hips shouldn't be rocking. 6, 7, and 8. Bring your knees to tabletop. Gently rock up. Find your head rest. Please don't pitch forward into the wall of the machine. From there, we're going to do a swan variation for a little counter stretch. I'm going to come on to my stomach. My feet extend long. Part of the reason why I lowered my foot bar, I'm going to squeeze my inner thighs, draw my belly button up to my spine, tweeze my seat. I'm going to press back slightly. I realize that this is not the traditional position for Swan. Normally, we are positioned on the box at the very front edge where our sternum and our 12th rib meet. Today, we're going to be pressed back further, just like we would in mat, so that our hands are directly under our shoulders. I'm going to squeeze. I'm going to inhale, press up into Swan, and exhale back down. If you feel this in your low back, inhale. First, see if you can draw your belly button more closely to your spine. If that does not work out for you, go ahead and squeeze your legs together more strongly. One more. From here, we're going to do some one-armed swans. So, I'm going to take my right hand, I'm going to place it in the middle of my forehead like a little salute. I'm going to inhale to press up, and exhale, press back down. This is very difficult. One more in this position. And back down. From there, we're going to add on. I'm going to inhale, press up. I'm going to rotate to the side of my body towards my elbow. I'm going to open my arm, reaching for the back corner. I'm going to bring my hand back, rotate forward, and exhale to lower my body. I'm going to inhale, lift. I'm going to rotate to my bent elbow, extend my arm, reaching for the back corner. I'm going to bend back into the salute, rotate back to the front, and exhale back down. From there, I'm going to change hands and do it all on the other side. I'm going to bring my left hand to the middle of my forehead like a salute. I'm going to inhale, press up, using my triceps, really keeping them close to my body. It's like a one-arm tricep push-up, but a swan. I'm going to inhale up, using my triceps, exhale back down. Really squeeze your legs together, draw your belly button to your spine. Adding on. Inhale. Rotate your body towards your bent elbow. Reach back. Open your arm towards the corner. Bend back to the salute. Come back to the center. And exhale to lower. One more. Inhale up. Rotate. Open your arm. Bend your elbow back to the original position. Come back to the center. Exhale down. From there, I'm going to shimmy forward slightly. I'm going to bring my knees under me for a modified child's pose. Bring my hands to the corners of the box, resting my forehead on the edge of the box. Coming into a tight little bug position almost. What a lot of back work. I'm going to go ahead, come back up to sitting. I'm going to check on my springs real fast. I still have on a red and a blue. That's what I'm going to use for this next exercise we're going to do. I'm going to come sitting on the very edge of the box, just like we did for the series of 5. I'm going to grab my hand straps. Exhale. Come back. Bring my legs to the table. Very carefully, I'm going to shimmy my body down. I'm going to keep my legs in tabletop. I'm going to use my arms by lifting them to help me get into this can-can position. Now can-can, I'm going to rock to my right hip. I'm going to extend my legs. I'm going to come back down. I'm going to rock back to the center. I'm in curl up right now. I'm going to rock to my left hip. Extend my legs to the left corner. Bend them. Come back through center. Let's do that one more time. Rock to your right hip. Extend your legs. Bend your legs. Come back through center. And to the left. Extend and bend through center. To add on, for more of a challenge, we're going to come up into teaser roll. We're going to and up. And bend and and back through center, and up, and bend, articulating back down. If you feel like you're too close to the edge like I just did, go ahead and scoot back slightly. We don't want anyone falling off the box. From there, we're going to go ahead and rock to our right hip, and extend, and bend our knees as we articulate back down. I'm lifting up as I extend, using the support of the straps. Come back. We're going to add on to the choreography now. I'm going to extend to the right. I'm going to bend my top knee and extend. Bend my bottom knee and extend. Bend both knees and come back through center. Exhale and lift. Bend your top knee, extend. Bottom leg, extend. Bend both knees and come back through center. One more time on each side. And extend to the right. Bend your top leg. Bend your bottom leg. Bend both legs. Articulate through center. And to the left. Bend your top leg. Bend your bottom leg. Bend both legs. Come through center. And rock yourself back up to sitting. Find your headrest. Shake it all out. I'm going to come to sitting on the side of my box. I'm going to reach down. I'm dropping my medium spring, so I only have one light spring on. If you do not have the option to go to a light spring, please feel free to remove your box to relieve some of the additional weight. Hopefully, scoot closer to the handles to make your weight a little bit easier. I'm sitting in the middle of the box. I have my heels pressing in to the carriage so that my feet aren't dragging on the outside of the wooden frame. I'm going to pick up my handle. I'm going to bring my bicep in close to my body. I'm going to shade my face, press my head up, and lower it back down. My hand is on my hip. I'm maintaining a neutral spine. My belly button is dry on my spine. My ribs are in and down. My shoulder blades are down my back. There's 5 and 6. I'm trying to maintain neutral or even pressure in my hip bones and heels. And 8. And bring it down. I'm going to change my hands. So my handle is currently my left hand. I'm going to take it to my right hand. Place my left hand on my hip. I'm going to reach my right arm across my body diagonal. I'm not allowing my shoulder to roll in. I have a slight bend in my elbow. I'm going to press out so that my fist is by my shoulder. And then I'm going to extend it out. And then I'm going to bend it back in and allow my arm to float across my body a little faster. 2. I'm following my hand with my eyes. 3. Here's 4. Squeezing my knees together. Here's. Still drawing my belly button to my spine. And 7. And 8. From here, I'm going to be doing a twist from the back to the front. I'm going to replace this handle, and I'm going to reach for my back handle. All of my weight is in my back hand arm, or my left hand. For me, I'm going to place my right hand over my left, looking back towards my uprights, leaving both hips evenly weighted on my box. I'm going to exhale, twist my body forward, really seeing how much I can wring out, and come back. If you find this is too much weight for you, or if you're rocking too much on your hips, try the front handle. Shoulder blades down your back. Really squeezing everything together here. Here's 7. And here is 8. From here, I'm going to replace the handle. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to carefully switch to the other side. Again, I'm sitting in the middle of my box with my heels pressing into the carriage. My feet are not pressing into the wood frame so that I don't create additional drag or weight on myself. I'm going to place my left hand on my hip. My right bicep is pressing into my ribs. My hand is right by my face. I'm going to press up and lower, shading my face. Equal weight in my hips. Equal weight in my heels. Neutral spine. And 4. Here's 5. and 6, and 7, and 8. From there, I'm going to take the handle on my opposite hand, or my front hand. For me, it's my left. My right hand's going to go on my hip. I'm going to reach my arm across my body without running my shoulders in. I'm going to press up. I'm going to bend at the elbow to come back in and float my arm across my body. And press. Release. Try to keep equal weight on your hips. Don't rock back and forth. Here's 4. And 5. Here's 6. And 7. Follow your hand with your eyes. And 8. From there, I'm going to allow the carriage to come into the bumper. I'm going to replace that front handle. I'm going to reach for the back handle with my back hand or my right hand. All the work is coming from the right side of my body. I'm going to place my left hand across my right hand to come along for the ride, sitting straight up, squeezing my legs together, equal with my hips. I'm going to exhale, twist across the body, and rotate back to the front or the back as the carriage comes into the bumper. And exhale. My arms are rounded. I'm keeping my hands in between my body. And exhale. Here's 6. Again, try to grow taller as you twist. Here's 7. One more. And 8. From there, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to replace the bumper. I'm going to come to a short box. We are going to be doing a tuck or pike series, short box series on the forearms. I'm going to come with my knees on the backs. I'm going to begin with a frog position. We're all familiar with it, hopefully. I'm going to come down on my forearms. So my shoulders are over my elbows. I'm going to hover my knees off of the carriage. I'm going to squeeze my glutes and hamstrings to press out, grind my belly button to my spine, and pull back into the bumper with control. And press, and pull. As I come back to the bumper, I'm going to pull my belly button to my spine. Here's 5, 6, 7, one more, and 8. Don't drop your knees. Separate your heels so now your feet are parallel. Press out and pike at the booty. Lift your glutes to the sky, looking at your knees, or between your legs, and press out to a plank. And lift. And press. When you come in, it's a good time to lift your feet to make sure that you're centered. And exhale to lift, running belly button to your spine. Here's 6, 7, and 8. From here, we're going to go ahead and do some tucks. We're going to draw our belly button up to a C-shaped curve. Look in, bending our knees, and press back out. And tuck. Coming up to a C-shaped curve and press. Here's 3. And 4. 5. Squeeze your glutes. 6. 7. Don't crunch into your shoulders. 1 more for 8. Come back in. Rest your knees for a moment. We're going to go into our side planking series. We're going to do 6 in each position for the sides. So slightly less. I'm going to come facing on my left forearm first, so I'm going to face towards my right. I'm going to bring my feet tandem. My front foot is in top of my my bottom foot. If you prefer to switch it, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to come up. I'm going to press out the plank to find it first. My right hand is sitting on the front edge of my box. I'm lifting up out of my side. I'm going to bend my knees, do a tuck, and press out. Flattening my heels as I press. I'm going to bend it in and press. Squeezing my inner thighs together, lifting up, hollowing out under under my armpit. Cinching in my waist. One more. And stay out. From here, we're going to pike. I'm going to lift up my hips, rotating my shoulders to the box, and press back out to a side plank. And rotate left pike. And out. And 3 left. Don't forget to breathe. 4, 5. One more. And we're going to stay here. This next one's a challenge. If you don't want to, please continue with the pikes. I'm going to extend my right arm to the ceiling. I'm going to exhale the pike, drawing my arm underneath my body, in thread the needle, and press back out. I'm going to draw it under. And inhale. Here's 3. And 4. Just 2 more. And 5. Really narrow out your waist. Hollow out your belly. And 6. Place your hand back down the box. Bend your knees. Come across the box for a modified child's pose. I like to place my hands like a pillow underneath my head. One more set over to the side, and then we are going to go into feet and straps and a final stretch. So this is it, guys. I'm going to come onto my right forearm, facing my left side. Again, my top foot is in front of my back foot, but you may switch that if you feel more comfortable. My left hand is on the front edge of the box. I'm going to place my feet out. I'm going to press out into a side plank. I'm going to lift up so that I'm not sinking into my low side, hollowed under my arms. I'm going to bend my knees in, and when I press, I'm going to press my heels into the corner top edge of the wood. Inhale. Exhale. Here's 3. 4. Just 2 more of these. Here's 5. And 6. Drawing your belly button to your spine. And now we're going to pike. I'm going to lift my hips to the ceiling, rotating my shoulders to the box. I'm going to press back up into a side plank. And 2. And press. Here's 3. And 4. I don't know about anybody else, but I am certainly sweating. 1 more. If you'd like to add on, extend your left arm to the ceiling, exhale to pike, threading the needle, drawing your left arm under, and press back out, lifting your left arm up. And 2. And inhale. Here's 3. And inhale. 4. And 5. Really cinch at the waist. 1 more. And 6. Press back out. Place your left hand back down. Bend your knees in. Come to the bumper. Go ahead and take 1 more modified child's pose. You deserve it. I'm going to come up and carefully step off my box, or my carriage. I'm going to remove my box. I'm going to change my handles over for my feet straps if you have handles versus foot straps. I'm going to change my springs. I like 2 heavies for feet and straps. I'm going to bring my foot bar back up. My normal position, because after this we're going to do a piriformis stretch to end class. I'm going to come onto my back. I'm going to lift my headrest. If you'd like to, you're welcome to. If not, don't worry about it. Take my feet strap. I'm going to press out, placing 1 foot in foot strap, extending that foot long, pressing into the spring. Bring my other foot out. Come into a frog position. Find neutral spine. Don't tuck your tailbone here. Catch your breath. Check in with your body. Make sure your neutral spine is in line. And inhale to press out to a frog. And exhale to bend your knees back in. Inhale. And exhale. Enjoy the movement. But make sure that you are not rocking in your sacrum. You're still drawing your hips strongly to the mat. Well, your sacrum strongly to the mat. Your ribs are together. Slight lift in the low back. 1 more frog. And bring your legs in. Extend them straight up to the ceiling. Parallel, please. We're going to lower our legs, lower hamstrings and glutes. Maintain in a flat, steady sacrum. And lift. And lower. And lift. Check out your hip bones. Make sure they're not rocky. And then place your arms back on the mat. 4. Oh, I'm sorry, 6. 7. Just 3 more. 8. Here's 9. Next, we're going to open, close our legs from the very tippy top. Here's 10. We're going to turn our feet out to Pilates. We're going to open and flex to bring them close. Try not to move the carriage. Open and flex. Don't sink in your low back. Here's 5. Very fluid. See if your heels can meet together in the middle at the same time. 8. And squeeze. 9. And 10. We're going to do 5 leg circles in each direction. Turned out. No wider than the width of the reformer. So separate your feet the width of the reformer. Pull them down to working level. Squeeze your legs together. And lift. And open. And squeeze to lift. Inhale. And exhale back up to the center. Inhale. Exhale through the center and reverse. Inhale your legs to the center. And exhale to lift. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. From there, I'm going to bend my feet into frog. I'm going to remove 1 foot from the foot strap. Find the foot bar. Press my legs straight against the foot bar. Remove the other foot strap. Find the foot bar with my other foot. And bend my knees to come back into the carriage. I'm going to replace my straps. I'm going to change my springs over for 1 light spring. Removing my 2 heavy springs. I'm going to come up to standing. I'm going to place my outside foot toe in line with the very front edge of my reformer. I'm going to pick up my inside leg, place it against the shoulder block closest to me so that my toes are tucked, my heel is pressing into the shoulder block. I'm going to bend my knee to the carriage. I'm going to press out, sitting into the stretch by stretching out my hip, but sitting as straight up as I can. I'm going to hold it for a moment. And I'm going to lift back up. I'm going to bend my front knee. By bending my front knee, that's how I'm going to come down into the stretch. And I'm going to extend my leg, my back leg. And I'm going to lift. I have 1 more. We're going to add on slightly. My favorite add-on. In the psoas stretch. I'm going to remove my outside arm from the foot bar. I'm going to lift it up by my ear. And I'm going to bend across the machine. For a side bend. I'm going to come back up to the center. Replace my hand. And come back up to standing. I'm going to change sides. I'm going to take my outside foot and line up my big toe with the very front of my machine. Take my inside foot, tuck my toes, place my tucked toes and my heel on the shoulder block closest to me, place my foot on the mat, bend my front knee, really coming down into the psoas stretch, really lengthening my hip flexor. Sitting as straight up as possible. I'm going to straighten my knee to come back up. And exhale to go down into the stretch. Inhale back up. 1 more. Exhale down. I'm going to take my hand on the outside of the foot bar, up by my ear, and reach across the carriage for a nice side stretch. I'm going to come back up, bring my body straight, replace my hand, and come straight back up. Thank you so much for joining me today. That's the end of our routine. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Have a good day.